Thank you. Okay. Okay. I'm looking at the foolishness going on back there. I thought I got it all cute and everything, but apparently there is still some shenanigans going on in the back. But that's how life be life. And all right, we are well past 1 minute. I usually just wait 1 minute, so if anybody gets a notification, they get a chance to come in and check in and see what's going on. Okay. So I've been threatening to do this video for quite some time, and I did it. I did it. I did it. I really did do it. But I took it down, and for one good, great reason. I wanted to deliver and disseminate this information in a clear and a concise way. And when I did that video, I think like the first 30 minutes, I was talking about something else before I actually got to the topic. And like I've been told by my family, if you're going to talk about feet, don't come in here talking about your hair, right? So that's what I want to do. I want to stay on topic. I even had notes in that video and still spent the first 30 minutes talking about something else. So let's get to it. And I'm going to retitle this video because this video is going to be about keto and my keto journey. All right. Let me just say, let me offer a few housekeeping notes first. Number one, if you are going to embark upon any type of diet or lifestyle change that will impact your health and or diet, I want to say to you, the first thing you should do is consult with your healthcare practitioner. Get lab work done. And when I say get lab work done, I'm talking about a CBC and a vitamin panel. And I mean a complete vitamin panel. And I'm going to tell you, it may be a little bit of a fight. They may tell you, oh, your insurance doesn't pay for that, or it's a very expensive test. There's a lot of things that are expensive. A lot of things. Coffins are expensive. Funeral services are very expensive. So, you got to weigh your options and figure out which one you want to pay for, or which one you want to have your family pay for. And that's just the way it is. Okay, you have got to be responsible over your health, and we know there are some disparities. It's in the news. I'm not saying anything that's not true. It's in the news. It's on Google. It's on YouTube. It's everywhere about the medical disparities between marginalized groups and those that aren't marginalized. So you have to play a very active role in being responsible for your health. And I always tell people, don't guess at what's wrong with you. If you're having issues, if you're having symptoms, don't guess at it. Go get your lab work done. And in getting your lab work done, you can at least see right in front of you, because lab work is very easy to read. They give you a legend and they tell you this is what's high, this is what's low, and this is where you fall. Okay, so you can read it yourself. It does not take a rocket scientist or anybody with any special education to show you, or specialized education to show you how to read your own lab results. So you got to be responsible for your own health. Don't leave it just solely up to the doctors. And I'm going to get off topic. I'm going to get off topic. I know I said I wouldn't, but this ties in too. It's just like there are so many women who get pregnant. They go maybe for a tour of the hospital, and that's it. They really don't know what to expect. They really don't know how to handle the changes that their body is about to go through during labor and delivery. And because of that, it makes it very scary for the mother, because she doesn't know. She doesn't know what to expect. She doesn't know the physiology of birth and how it occurs. And, you know, most people, the first labor pain they get, they're, you know, doing all these breathing exercises. And we're like 6 or 7 hours away from having to do any breathing exercises if it's your first child. But then it all depends, you know. Some women can give birth in 4 hours. It depends. It just depends. But I said that to say this. You have to know your body. You have to know what to expect when your body is going through a change, whether it be labor and delivery, or you're trying to lose weight, you're going on a new diet, you're changing a lifestyle. You have to know and understand the physiology of what you're about to go through and the things that you might expect in making this lifestyle change. And I have to tell you that I came from a place of veganism. I was vegan from 2009 to 2020, and this all ties in, so I'm not off topic. I was vegan from 2009 to 2020. About 2 years in, I really started to notice some really big and unsatisfactory changes in my body, from heart palpitations to feeling faint to developing anemia, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, kidney disease. And these were all things that I couldn't even verbalize, because I couldn't even believe that me, someone who was leading that vegan lifestyle, I couldn't believe that I was being faced with all of these things. So there was no way I could verbalize to anybody that I was experiencing these things. Now, I did come on here and I talked about my issues with anemia. I talked about my issues with B12 deficiency, vitamin D deficiency, but the other stuff that came into play, I just couldn't talk about, like the pre-diabetic diagnosis I received, the kidney disease that I was faced with. I just couldn't, I couldn't come here and verbalize that, because number one, I believe that when we make these lifestyle changes, whether it be going to a vegan diet or going to a keto diet or whatever, we all have one common denominator. I believe we all have one common denominator, and that common denominator is this: something's going on with us. And we want to see a positive change. We want to eliminate from our bodies, our whatever. But we want to eliminate something from our body that is causing us great anguish. Okay? Whether it's skin issues, blood pressure issues, kidney issues, whatever. We make these changes with the greatest and the best intent. And just like I heard a sister saying yesterday, I'm not here to bash anybody and their choices in what they choose to eat, because I believe the reason why we make these choices is because we're looking for a healing. And I can't knock anybody that's looking to be and get and stay well. I can't knock anybody for that. You know, when people are looking to make a change that's going to be positive, that's going to impact their health in a positive way, that's going to get and keep them well, how can anybody argue with someone making such an effort? Because that's what I believe the effort is for. When people say, I'm going to be vegan, They're trying to make an effort to change for the better. When someone says, I'm going to do keto, they're trying to make an effort and a change to do better. Okay? That's my, not really a disclaimer, but that's, I don't know, that's not a caveat, but it's my preface to what I have to say. There is a caveat, but that's going to come later, okay? So, like I said, I was vegan from 2009 to 2020. Things started going haywire. I had all kinds of deficiencies. It was like month after month after month after month. Boom, 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 boom. It was something different. It was something else that was wrong. Fainting, passing out, blood pressure dropping to 60 over 70, and blood pressure going up to 180 over 110, and all these ups and downs, highs and lows. And I went from 265 down to 197, and then landed at 227, and really couldn't lose the weight after that. And I'm wondering to myself, I'm vegan, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do as a vegan. Why am I not continuing to lose weight? Why am I continuing to get sicker and sicker and sicker? And what I did not do was my homework. What I did not do was consult with my Yahweh as to whether that was even the right thing for me to do. And listen, I just told you 2 things you need to do. Get your lab work done and be responsible for your own health. But the first thing you should do before you even do that is consult with Yahweh as to what. If you're trying to make a change in your diet, consult with Yahweh's word. Consult with his word and see what he says about what you should and should not be eating. Do that first. We're going to leave that right up front. Okay, I'm going to leave that right up here in the front because I want you all to do that. I want you to consult, if in fact you believe in Yahweh, okay? I want you to consult with his word as to what he says we need to do in terms of diet, okay? Okay. So I was vegan from 2009 to 2020, and the one thing I did not do was consult with Yahweh and his word as to how I was supposed to be eating. That was the first mistake I made. The second mistake I made was to run behind and follow behind man and what they said I should be eating to be healthy and to get well and to, have optimal health. Okay. So I didn't do my homework. And in doing your homework, whenever you're trying to figure out something, you're trying to weigh your options, you make 2 columns. You make a negative and you make a positive. Okay. And when I was vegan, all I wanted to do was, I just wanted to see the positive side of veganism. I didn't want to know about any negative side effects. I just wanted to know how I was going to get this done, the type of foods I was going to be able to make and create, what was the next recipe, what was the next documentary, what was the next book, what was the next specialist in the field of veganism. That's all I wanted to know. I had on my blinders just like this. I didn't want to see what was over there. I didn't want to see what was over there. I just wanted to see what was right in front of me, and I was laser focused on veganism and how I was going to get it done and do it well. Then around 2019, 2018, I started seeing videos that were saying things like the dark side of veganism. Well, I didn't want to know about the dark side of veganism. I didn't want to know. And then so I didn't watch that video. I didn't watch those videos. But one of the ladies that I follow, Tish Wonders, Tishwonders, Tish Wonders. Her video came up in my feed because I'm subscribed to her. And I mean, this young lady, if anybody was the epitome of veganism, if anybody was to be the poster child, the representative, the ambassador for veganism, it should have been Tish Wonders. This lady made the best looking foods. I mean, I could literally smell the food. I mean, and the way she presented it, plated it, prepared it. Perfection. And I thought she was the epitome of what veganism was supposed to look like, right? And then I think it was close to 2020 or the end of 2019, I think it was, she said she was leaving veganism. And she gave good reasons why. And while I'm listening to her explain the things that had happened to her, I'm like, that happened to me too. But I still hadn't equated veganism as to why I was feeling and doing as bad as I was. I was feeling bad. I was looking bad, okay? I had not equated that vegan diet to how bad I was feeling, okay? Even though she was talking about the same issues, skin problems, vitamin deficiencies, hair loss. She talked, and the video's still up there. You can watch her video. Like I said, it's Tish Wonders, and you can talk, the video's called Why I'm No Longer Completely Plant-Based. And listen to her story. I mean, and everything that she went through, I went through. But I still never equated that to what I was going through and me being vegan. Still hadn't equated it. So then around what was it, November 2019, when the Pootie Tang jumped off here and everything was starting to shut down, I got really sick. And I didn't have any flu symptoms, but something happened to me and I don't know what it was. And I'm just going to leave that right there. I had no fever, no cough, no chills, no nothing. But something happened to me. I don't know to this day what it was, but it lasted for about a month. And then I started thinking about how I was feeling. And then I started seeing some other videos of some other ex-vegans. And there's hundreds of videos on YouTube from ex-vegans. And, you know, some of them I can look at and I'm like, I don't think you did it right. You know, I don't think you did it right. But I followed some of the best when it came to who I thought was the best at being vegan and being healthy. And as I said, Tish Wonders was one of them. Okay. Lauren, what's Lauren's last name? Lauren Vanderpool. I was following her as well. Okay. But I was following a number of people that I thought really were well learned, well versed in that area. And slowly but surely, I started seeing these people drop off. You didn't see their videos anymore. You didn't hear any more about their recipes, their books, or nothing. You know, I think Tish is still doing books and supper clubs, but everybody else just kind of dropped out. So I got to thinking, maybe this is not a good space for me. This is not good for me either, you know? And so I intentionally started watching some of the ex-vegan videos. And the comparisons and the side effects, it was just so uncanny because it's like it happens in a particular order, you know? First the anemia, then first the vitamin D, then the anemia, then the B12. And it's like it's all in the same order. And it's like when one building block gets pulled out, the next one is like the game of Jenga. Your health, your well-being is built on building blocks. And just like that game of Jenga, when you start pulling the little wood dowels out, when you pull out the vitamin A, the structure starts to weaken. You pull out the vitamin B12, the structure weakens even more. You pull out the vitamin D, the structure really, and so on and so forth until it just falls apart. Your body's the same way. It's no different. So I decided in, I believe it was February or March of 2020, and I said no more. No more. Because I started reading, I started looking at the positive and the negative. I wasn't just there with the blinders on. I was really paying attention. And this is what I should have done beforehand, before my hair started falling out, before my teeth started rotting, I did not have a cavity in my mouth until my first cavity was with my first child. After I had my first child, I didn't have any cavities. I didn't have any teeth missing. If you go back to my very first video, and some of those videos might not be there, but I'm going to put up a few of my very first videos. You will look, I had a full set of teeth. I had a full set of teeth, but when I became vegan, my teeth just started to rot one after the other after the other. And the dentists were mad at me because they wanted to make the money off of all the root canals they saw there. And I'm like, no, just give me a filling. And they're like, no, you won't be able to stand the pain if we give you a filling. But they were telling me the teeth were perfectly good. All I needed was, as they said, all you need is a root canal. Well, if all I needed is a root canal, you can do a filling too, but nobody wanted to do a filling. Everybody wanted that cha-ching, okay? But after all these things started happening, losing hair, losing teeth, and I didn't lose the teeth. I opted to have those teeth pulled because I didn't want any amalgam. I didn't want any mercury, any of that stuff that they put in your teeth. I didn't want any of that in my mouth. I tried 2 root canals and they both failed. It was horrible what I went through when I tried to get those root canals done. So anyway, I just said no more. I can't do this. I really think that this is causing me a problem. I have to do something different. And so that's when it began. And I put on weight really, really quickly. Because I was eating, as another lady that I was listening to yesterday, I was eating everything. If it wasn't nailed down, I was eating it. Okay? And I felt like I was in like a frenzy. Because now I'm understanding why my body is failing. Now I am understanding my body is failing due to the lack of nutrition. And one thing that one of the doctors I saw said to me, she said, I don't like the idea of some of these diets because they are so restrictive. Because they are so restrictive, people end up losing important nutritional values. And in the loss of those nutritional values, really bad things can happen. And that's why she says she doesn't like a lot of these, diets because they're so restrictive, right? And she was right. But I didn't hear all of this until recently, right? I didn't know this then. I didn't know that I was going to become nutritionally deficient. I didn't know that I was going to be suffering from what they call not starvation. I can't think of the word I'm trying to say, but I didn't know these things were going to happen to me. If I had known, I wouldn't have done it. I would not have done it. Excuse me. I would not have done the vegan diet. So February, I think it was February 2020, I said no more. It's over. I'm going to eating meat. And so I started eating meat, and like I said, if it wasn't nailed down, I was eating it. However, it was only chicken and fish for like the first 2 months. And then I started doing beef. And then I think around the 4th month, I had around the 4th month, I had a hamburger. And to this day, I still grind all of my beef for my burgers. I don't buy any meat at the store because you don't know what could be in that. I need to see the meat, cut it off the bone, and put it in my food processor. Or sometimes I buy it without the bone. But anyway. So I started eating meat. And I mean, not only was I eating meat, I was eating the cakes, the pies, the cookies, the rolls, the biscuits, I was eating everything. I was eating everything but pork, okay? Consult with Yahweh's word. That's all I'm saying. If you follow him and you follow his will, his way, and his word, I'm just saying consult his word because we can get all we need from everything that he supplied us from those meats he mentions between Deuteronomy and Leviticus, okay? So anyway, I just started eating everything. And I mean, I was eating biscuits, I was eating rolls, honey butter dinner rolls. I was eating all the cakes, pies, cookies. I was just taking it all in, and not realizing at the time. See, a lot of people want us to believe that meat is the enemy, but the real enemy is sugar. Okay, because sugar gets into your cells, your glycogen stores, and it locks up. You know how you see a lollipop and it's hard as a rock? Well, that's what sugar can do to your cells. And meanwhile, you're trying to absorb the B12, the vitamin D, the vitamin C. You're trying to absorb all these important nutrients, but all this sugar got your cell hardened, oxidized, and locked up. So, they want to villainize meat, but the problem is sugar. And running close behind sugar is wheat products. When I say wheat products, I'm talking about anything that's made from flour, especially bleached flour. Anything made from bleached flour and what's the other flour? The flour with the leavening. Self-rising flour. I didn't understand why my stomach was so painfully bloated. My stomach, I always felt like, not always, but sometimes I would feel like my stomach, I felt like I was pregnant. Like the size of my size of my stomach would hurt because my stomach would be so distended. Because those, just like when you make a cake with self-rising flour, or you've added baking powder to it, and you let it sit for a while, it starts to bubble up and expand and expand. It does the same thing in your gut. And that's why a lot of times you see people who are vegan and they've got really big bellies. And I mean, they can be thin up top, but their belly is like distended. And I went through that, right? So I had to let go of, after I had, engorged myself. I have to say I engorged myself. But after I had engorged myself with everything that I wanted to eat from March of 2020 to about February of 2021, was it? I think it was 21. Yeah, 2021. I said, I got to do something because I'm gaining a lot of weight. And you can look back at the videos from 2020, 2021, and you'll see the difference between how I look then and now. I mean, even my arms, my wrists, I've never had really big wrists, but my arms and my wrists had gotten a lot smaller. I mean, at one point, I couldn't even put my finger around my wrist, okay? But you see that, right? I have very small wrists, okay? And they had gotten a little bit bigger, but not that much. But I'm just trying to say that I needed to do something, and I wasn't sure what I was going to do because I kept saying, I'm not going to do any more diets. I refuse to do any more diets. But then I kept hearing keto, 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 and I kept hearing Dr. Berg, Dr. Berg, Dr. Berg. But I was a little bit antsy about getting on keto and doing Dr. Berg's plan because it seemed like the more I listened, it seemed like he was selling stuff, pushing stuff, and I'm like, well, why is this? Why is that? And so it made me a little suspicious. But I listened to, what I finally, after a few months, I decided I was going to listen to what this keto thing was all about, okay? And I'll break it down for you in the way that I know how. But keto is when you I got notes here. I want to stay on topic and make sure I give you my complete synopsis. But anyway, here we go. Keto is when you eliminate certain foods from your body, just like you do in most diets. You eliminate something. And in keto, the concept is that you no longer do high carbs, okay? Every fruit and vegetable, nut, bean, seed, and legume is a carbohydrate, okay? So what you do is you eliminate those things that are high carbohydrates, because the higher the carbohydrate, the more it will turn into sugar as it's metabolized, okay? So on the keto diet, you do foods that are low carbohydrates, and you stay away from high carbs like sugar, table sugar, rice, potatoes, anything made from wheat, crackers, cookies, cakes, pies, cobblers, anything made with a wheat, okay? I believe we're not supposed to eat oatmeal as well, but rice, potatoes, sugar, wheat. I think those are the major things we are supposed to eliminate. Now, I would say to you, if you want a full, explanation, do your research and get that taken care of so you'll know if that's something you plan to do, okay? And here's how keto works. The body has to have energy, has to have a source of energy, just like your car. Your car has to have a source of energy. It either has to have gasoline or electric, kerosene, whatever your car runs on. It has to have a source of energy. So does your body. Our bodies generally run off of sugar. The idea of keto is that you take away the sugar and let the body burn and operate off of fat, using fat as fuel. Now, the one thing that confused me was that I got plenty of fat. Why are they telling me I need to eat more fat? Okay? And I still kind of don't really have this down pat as to how that works. Why they're telling you need to eat more fat, you need to take in MCT, medium chain triglyceride oils. I don't know. I don't know why they say you have to do that. But let me say this. It works. Keto works. When they tell you that you need to take in extra oil, or not extra oil, you need to take in extra fat, it works. Here's the caveat. They'll tell you to take in ghee because it's the ghee has the water removed from it, and it's just a pure, healthy fat, okay, that's easily digested by the body, right? And so they'll tell you to take in, use ghee to cook with, take in a little ghee, take in a little MCT oil. And the caveat is this: while you take those things in, you'll lose more weight faster. However, for me, doing that, when I took in the ghee, I lost weight faster, but I also felt the worst. It made me, I felt bad. I had this overall sense of malaise. I felt sick. I felt bad. But I lost the most weight when I ate the most fat. But I felt the worst. That's the caveat. Okay? Beware. I told you. I warned you. That's what happened to me. I don't know if that's going to happen to you if you decide to try that. But that's what happened to me. Okay? So when you take away sugar from the body, or those foods that metabolize into sugar, because when we take in potatoes, it metabolizes in the body as sugar. When we take in rice, it metabolizes in the body as sugar. Doesn't make a difference whether it's white rice or brown rice. It still metabolizes into sugar. And that's when I learned why the vegan diet was so bad for me, because a lot of what I was eating was metabolizing into sugar. And when you start eating all these foods that metabolize into sugar, you're going to end up with kidney problems. You're going to end up with blood pressure problems, because the sugar impacts your kidneys first, and then the kidneys impact your blood pressure. okay, and send your blood pressure up. All right. So, and I didn't, like I said, I didn't know this. I didn't understand this. I did not have that understanding until after I started doing the keto diet. The keto diet taught me that a lot of the foods that I was eating as a vegan were metabolizing into sugar, and sugar turns into fat. We know that. I did know that. I know that. I knew some of these things I knew, but I don't know. I guess I just didn't apply it. That's all I can say. I didn't apply it. But when you're on a vegan diet, oftentimes people will eat a lot of rice. They'll eat a lot of potatoes. They'll eat a lot of beans that are high carbs. Like, for instance, chickpeas are high carbohydrates. That will metabolize into sugar. And this is how people get into trouble with sugar, how people get into trouble with diabetes, because, on these vegan diets, a lot of the foods that we eat turn into sugar, turn into fat. And the sugar is worse than the fat, in my opinion. So when you take away the sugar, the body says, okay, where's the sugar? There's no sugar. I need energy. I need to burn some, I need something to burn some energy on. Well, when there's no sugar present, the body will start burning the fat. And that's what happened. And that's how I lost the weight. I went from 227 down to 195. I think that's like 32 pounds. And then I started getting sick. And I went to my doctor. I got my lab work done. I didn't tell her I didn't tell her that I was on keto. I didn't tell her anything. I didn't tell her I was feeling bad. I didn't say anything. I just said, I wanted to come in and get some lab work done. That's all I did. And then I looked at the lab work and I said, okay, this is short. This is high. This is low. Let me fix these. Let me do my research and figure out how I can fix these shortages, okay? And a lot of the answers, it was strange enough, a lot of the answers that I needed, I found on Dr. Berg's channel. And at one point, Dr. Berg was recommending taking vitamin D3, which I've always been low on, and vitamin K2. I think K2 is potassium. And you have to be very careful with potassium because, I guess maybe I've watched too many of those medical shows where, someone pushes some potassium through someone's IV and the person ends up having a heart attack. So potassium scares me because of that, all what was it? What was the doctor back in the 70s? Black hair, blue eyes, Lawrence something, MD or something, I can't remember. And the first time I saw somebody push some potassium through an IV and kill somebody, I was like, oh, Lord. I was scared every time I went to the hospital and I had to get an IV because I'm like, what if somebody pushes potassium through my IV and it, Anyway, watching TV, right? So you do have to be careful with potassium, but they say potassium is important for healthy kidneys, okay? And so I tried to take a little, I took the pill was probably that big, and I took a half a pea size of that potassium, and I got really sick, and I was sick for about a week. I did the same thing with magnesium. I took just a little tiny piece. I was sick again for about a week. And so some of these vitamins I just can't, and I'm just so glad I didn't take the whole pill. But anyway, I had all these deficiencies and decided to get on keto. And so here we are talking about how keto works. And like I said, if you want a full, complete explanation, find a good source that's good for you. Dr. Berg seemed to have a lot of information. However, we'll talk about the however for later, okay? He had a lot of information, however. There's always a good and a bad. There's always a yin and a yang. There's heaven and hell. There's Yahweh and the devil. There's always, and you have to consider the two. You have to consider the two, okay? So if someone were to ask me, does keto work? I'd have to say, yeah, it works. It works. However, there are some side effects. Let me go over what my side effects were. The biggest two side effects for me was that sometimes I stink. And I'm not used to this, okay? Because see, as a child, I explained this before, I'll explain it again. As a child, I had the armpits of a dozen sailors in the hot sun out on the ocean. That's just how it used to be for me. I used to sweat so bad under my armpits. I was in Catholic school, and of course, you know, we wore the little jumpers and the white bibbed button-up shirts and the little tie, right? I was so embarrassed to raise my hand to ask a question because I used to sweat so badly under my armpits, okay, that my shirts were all had these big yellow stains in the arm. That's how bad I used to sweat. That's how funky I could get. It was bad. And my mother used to bleach my shirts, and all the bleach did was make the rest of the shirt itch. It never ever took away the yellow stain from under my arm, from under my shirt, you know, the armpit of my shirt. I used to sweat really bad. And then when I got into my 40s, I stopped wearing deodorant because I stopped sweating like that. To this day, I don't wear deodorant. I can keep it under control, okay? But I don't have to wear deodorant. But you will never smell. I might smell me. And you know, let me say this. Some people be like, if I can't smell me, they can't smell me. That's not true, okay? If you can smell yourself, somebody else can smell you too. But I ask around the house, and nobody's being nice, because if I ask my daughter, do I stink? Is that me? She's like, that's you. I ain't want to say nothing, Mommy, but that's you. Okay, I got it. I'm going to take care of it, okay? But starting at about the age of 40, maybe even before, I think I was like shortly after my daughter was born, like when I was in my mid-30s. Okay, I stopped wearing deodorant because I didn't have to. You would never smell me. You would never, ever smell me. And so, but when I got on keto, I don't know if it's keto or menopause or a combination of the two. But I've heard somebody else say this too, that when you're on keto, you know, you can have keto breath, which is either very fruity or it's going to be very, very bad. Okay? I haven't had the fruity breath yet. I haven't had it. Listen, I know. I do this. I can't smell my breath. But when I wake up in the morning, I can taste my breath. And if my breath tastes bad, it's got to smell just as bad as it tastes, okay? Sorry, hubby. But when I got on keto, I noticed that my armpits, I have to shower every day. I mean, I used to go every other day. You know, take a shower today, bird bath tomorrow, shower the next day, bird bath. You know, I could do that and be just fine, no problem. And I mean, sometimes I could skip a bird bath and you still wouldn't, but I just, wanted to do that because it made me feel a certain kind of good way. Anyway, so that's one of the side effects. You might stink. You might stink. And it's not bad, but if I don't check it, it will get bad. And I'm not used to having this odor about me because I've been without this for so long. And then when I get on keto or, I'm in full swing, menopause, whether it's one or the other or a combination of the two, I don't know. But I've heard other people say that. The other symptom, or the other side effect, I should say, is the frequent urination. When I tell you you are going to lose sleep over the number of times you have to go to the bathroom at night, how disruptive it is when you have to go out, whether you're going to the grocery store or going on an outing with family, it is absolutely disruptive. It will ruin your night's sleep. It will throw off your circadian rhythm because, you should be able to sleep at least 6 hours straight without waking up. You should be able to. And if you can't, something might be going on, whether it's, getting up to go to the bathroom like I was, but having to run to the bathroom, you will be dumping a lot of fluid. You will be losing a lot of electrolytes. And losing those electrolytes, I believe, is what is the cause of what they call the keto flu. When they started talking about the keto flu, I'm looking for body aches, chills, fever. It's not that at all. Excuse me. Keto flu is not body aches, chills, fever. It's nothing like the flu. You just feel run down, tired, weak. You're like, what is going? Why do I feel so tired? Why do I feel so run down? And you feel it's just a general malaise, okay? A general sense of malaise that you will have, and you will feel like, what is wrong? What is happening? And I didn't equate it to the keto diet because they kept saying keto flu, and I'm looking for fever, chills, body aches, yada, yada, yada. Now, there is pain. Keto was painful for me. Okay, I'm talking about sharp stab. It's like someone took a knife, stuck it in my leg, in my thigh, and twisted it. Okay, it was painful for me. But keto flu is you're gonna feel bad. You're gonna feel bad. You're gonna feel bad. If you get it. Not everybody gets this thing called keto flu. Okay. I had it and I thought something was really seriously wrong. And then I called my doctor and I said, listen, I'd like to get some lab work done. I didn't say I was feeling bad. I didn't tell her what I was doing. I didn't say anything. I just said I wanted to get, a CBC and a full vitamin panel. Okay. Fight for whatever you need and for whatever you want. Don't let anybody tell you it's too expensive. If your insurance won't pay for it, if you can pay for it, go ahead and get it done. You need to know. You need to know for your own mental health and your physical well-being. You need to know where you stand. You can't fix things appropriately if you don't know where you stand, and you can't guess. You can't read something because I know people. I know there are people who love to read, and they love to do their own research. However, if you're researching fatigue and tiredness could mean a myriad of things. You could be suffering fatigue and have some stage of cancer. I'm not putting that on nobody, but I'm just trying to give you an example of one side of the spectrum to the other, and how serious this could be when you don't know what you're treating, and you're just treating things because you've done some research. And I implore people to do their research. I do. Do your research. However, you don't know what's going on in your blood. You don't know what's going on in your body. And I always say, the blood is the proof, and the proof is the pudding. Okay? They always say the proof is in the pudding. Well, the blood is the proof. Okay? Just because you're feeling fatigued and tired doesn't mean you take B12. You could be feeling fatigued and tired because you're vitamin D deficient. But if you're taking B12, when you actually have a vitamin D deficiency, first of all, you're not treating the deficiency that you have. And your B12 level is getting worse, is getting lower because, I'm sorry, let me back up, slow down. If you're treating fatigue with B12 when it's really vitamin D, your vitamin D is getting lower and lower, your B12 is getting higher and higher, and at a certain point you will become toxic with the B12 because you're taking more than what you even needed in the first place, because you never needed the B12 when it was really the vitamin D that you needed, and the vitamin D has dropped dangerously low. And when your vitamin D drops low like that, you open yourself up to cancer. Okay? Vitamin D is really a hormone. And a lot of people, as a prophylaxis, will take vitamin D in large doses. I'm talking 10, 20,000 IUs, right? They will take it that way because maybe they have family members that have indicated, cancer or something like that. So as a prophylaxis, they will take a lot of vitamin D. Okay. But yeah, I wouldn't do that unless I did that under a doctor's supervision, because vitamin D toxicity is dangerous, is also dangerous. Okay. So what I'm saying is, you may be suffering from fatigue, but fatigue could be a myriad of things. It could be cytomegalovirus. It could be cancer. It could be kidney disease. It could be any one of these things. And if you decide, well, I think it's B12 that I need because I'm feeling fatigued, well, there's 100 other things that'll make you feel fatigued as well. And that's why I implore people. You can go to all the practitioners you want to, but unless you look at the blood, you're not going to know what it is you're falling short on, what it is that's too high, what it is that needs to be treated. You're not going to know. You have got to go and get your lab work done. And so when I started feeling bad, I called my doctor. I said, I didn't say anything was wrong. I just said, I want to get some lab work done. I want to get a full CBC, a full vitamin panel. I wanted thyroid, hepatic function, renal function. I wanted everything. I wanted everything checked. Okay. And there was a little push and pull, a little push and push back. Well, the insurance is going to pay for it. That's expensive. Appreciate you looking out for my pocket, doc, but I got to take care of me. And in taking care of me, I got to take care of here. And the way that I take care of here is to make sure I know what's going on with all of this here. And I can't know that without the blood work, okay? Please, please, please don't guess, And especially now, if you have been through something, in terms of your health because of your diet, if you have been through something, don't continue to guess. I have spent a number of years guessing. Oh, well, maybe it's this, maybe it's that. And then I did go and get the lab work done, and I found out, it wasn't what I thought it was. It was actually this. Thank goodness I went and got the blood work done, right? So I'm just saying to you, some of us have spent a great deal of time in health and lifestyle choices that have left us defunct and deficient, okay? So I say to anybody who has been through something like that, don't guess. No. Don't just stab in the dark at what you think might be going on, please, because you could just cause yourself an even bigger problem. It's just a little prick, and they take your blood, and like I said, don't say anything is wrong. Don't say anything is wrong. Just let them take the blood, because I'm suspicious. I'm cynical. When I call my doc, oh, hey, doc, how are you? Yada, 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 yada. Yeah, I just wanted to get some lab work done. I wanted to get a CBC. It's about that time, every 6 months. So I'd like to get a CBC. And then after you get your CBC and your lab work back and you find out what's high, what's low, what's good, do your research. And with the help of a practitioner, you can decide on what is best for you to treat your deficiencies, your highs and your lows, etc. And then you can say, well, doc, in like 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, I'd like to come back and retest these things and make sure we're right on track to healing these things that I have that are either too high, too low, or deficient. Okay? That's the way I'm going about it. That's the way I've gone about it. And it's worked out pretty well for me. Pretty well for me. And like I said, when I first started keto and I started feeling bad and I was in the bed and I was like, geez, what is this now? What is this? I'm eating meat now. I'm trying to get better. I'm trying to heal. But, now that I've got back on keto, now that I've got on another diet, because I said I wasn't going to do another diet. Now that I've gotten on another diet, here I am feeling bad. What is it now? But like I said, I called the doctor, didn't tell her what was wrong, what was going on, didn't tell her about any symptoms. I just told her what I wanted. And I looked at my lab work and I said, okay, you know, that's a little high, this is a little low. I did my research, how to bring it down, you know, because I know oftentimes we will take supplements and things like that because someone says, oh, this supplement will do this for you, and this supplement will do that for you. But has that supplement been indicated on any lab work that you even need that? Because see, what people don't understand is when you are taking vitamins, and especially mixing vitamins, taking and mixing multiple vitamins together, and you don't know if one might have a negative, because there's different types of vitamins. There's 5 different types. I can't see. I think is that Miss Stop, Drop, and Roll On? Hi, my sister. I just went to your channel today. I think about you just about every day. How are you? I think that was her. Wait a minute. Let me look. Yes, it was. Hi, my sister. And see, I didn't even know if you said hi, sister, but I couldn't see that. But hi, my sister. I miss you. I pray everything is well and that I will see you soon on the platform. I miss the normal. I miss the normal. I need the normal. I know sometimes our lives get upside down, right? And things can happen. And I'm not saying anything has happened in your life, anything bad. I'm not saying that. But I'm just saying I could always go to your channel for some normal. After I had seen all the things that I saw and my eyeballs had been burned and scorched after things that I had seen on YouTube, I'm like, oh God, I could always go to Miss Stop, Drop, and Roll On's channel for some comfort, for some normalcy. Is that a word? I don't know. But I could always go to her channel, go to your channel, Miss Stop, Drop, and Roll On for normal. Thank you for that. And I miss you. I wish you would do a video. I just want to, you know, I even still watch your old videos. I just, I miss you here. Hold on. Sassy, you have me crying, ma'am. I'm going to like, please come back, Miss Stop, Drop, and Roll On, please. Oh. When I watch Miss Stop, Drop, and Roll On, I know she gonna give me one. I know she gonna give me something that's gonna help me get through this thing called life. You know, and that's missing right now. You took that from me. Okay? I'm gonna hold you accountable for that, Miss Stop, Drop, and Roll On, because I always knew you were gonna give me one when you came in. You were gonna give me something that helped me make it to the next day. And there was times when I was laid in that bed, sick and not feeling good, and here come Miss Stop, Drop, and Roll On with a video. You don't know what you did for people. You don't know what you have done for people. And you left us hanging. I'm holding you accountable and responsible. I'm serious, though. I'm laughing, but I'm serious. I'm laughing, but I'm serious. I want you back. You had me at hello. Anyway, let me stop. Okay, so she done got me all emotional and all verklempt. I'm verklempt. Anyway, see? Give me a minute. Okay, back to it. All right, back to being focused. Okay, so I just implore that if you have been through anything, if you're planning to embark upon any health changes, diet changes, get your lab work done first before you embark upon anything. Get your lab work done first. Make sure everything's in order and is looking good. If anything's high, bring it down. If anything's low, bring it up. You know, get that in order first. Then talk with your practitioner and let them know, I'm planning on doing such and yada, yada, yada. Hear what they have to say. Weigh your options. Then do your research, the good, the bad, the ugly. Are we going to do it? It's getting dark. Let me turn on some light. Hold on. Oh. Okay. Wow. Hold on. That's too bright. Okay. That's better. Okay. So anyway, find out. Let me close this curtain. Okay. So find out the good, the bad, the ugly. Weigh your options, because in life, there's balance, right? There's balance in this life. There's the good, the bad, the ugly, the up, the down, the heaven, the hell. And in order to make an informed decision, we need to do our homework. And I believe everyone needs to do their own work, because a lot of us just want someone to hand us information and say, here, this is what you need to do. We don't want to look and see if there's any pitfalls, any downfalls, any trips in the road. We don't want to look. We just want someone to figure it out for us, and that's it. But you have to be more responsible than that over your body. You have to be. Hold on. I have to read this from my sister. Lady, do your video. I'm listening about the truth about supplementation. Okay, I'm doing my video. I am so proud of you. Looking great. You are, and you are feeling splendid. I can tell. I am feeling good. Look, listen. Time! Listen. I'm 60 years here. I'm 60 years old. Let me turn this light down some, because, see, I know that can diffuse some of the wrinkles and some of the lines, okay? I realize that. So I want to be fair, okay? I turn the light down, okay? I am 60 years here, 60 times around the sun. I feel good. Today, I don't know why I did this. I must be a really vain person, but I'd like to think that I'm not. But I went to Google and I asked the question. I said, what does the average 60-year-old woman look like? I feel really good at 60. I feel good. I'm sitting here twiddling and playing with my hair. And this is my hair. Oh, this is my hair, okay? Even the bald spot in the top, it's thin up here, but this is all me. You can root me. There you go. That's all me. That's all me. That's me, okay? All right. Let me turn it down a little bit. Okay. Okay? It's all me. And I'm very pleased at what I see. I'm very pleased at what I see. And okay. See, I said I wasn't gonna get off topic. I was not gonna get off. Let me tell you what happened to me at the store the other day. I thought it was so cute. I'm in the spice aisle, right? Getting my herbs and my spices. There's this young guy in the aisle, right? And he's looking and looking and looking and looking. And so I got my stuff, put it in my cart. I walked past this aisle one other time. I noticed he was down there again. He's still standing there. And then I went to walk past that aisle again, because you have to walk past that aisle to get in line. And so he said, "Excuse me, ma'am." I said, "Yes." He said, "Could you tell me, is this where you would find the jerk seasoning?" He said, "Because I can't find it anywhere." So I said, "Yeah, it would be right about here." And so we looked, we couldn't find it. And of course we were looking for the McCormick brand, right? Or the giant brand of the jerk seasoning. We couldn't find it, right? And I said, well, what you can do is you can substitute garam masala for the jerk seasoning, get you some scotch bonnet peppers and use the skin and as many of the seeds according to the heat that you like. I said, because it's the seed and not the skin that makes it spicy. He was like, I can tell you know your way around the kitchen. I said, well, I do what I can do while I can still do it. So he said, he looked at me and he said, he said, how did he say it? He said, grandmother, mother, I can tell you know your way in that kitchen. And he said, he said, I'm going to do it the way he did it. He said, I sure would like to be a part of your kitchen. Now, it wasn't gregarious. It wasn't rude. It was, he said, because listen, he first said, grandmother, mother. Okay? This young man knew I'm somebody mama. I'm somebody grandmother. Okay? He knew I'm somebody mother and I'm somebody grandmother. Watch what you say to me, young man. And he said to me, I sure would like to be a part of your kitchen. I said, boy, you better watch out what you say there. I said, and we both just got a good laugh. He was being respectful, but he was still, I guess, trying to say, you know, you still got it, grandma. And I was like, thank you, son. Look, tighten. You better put some respect on my 60, okay? You better put some respect on my 60. Oh, but he made me feel so good because this little boy, he couldn't have been no more than 25 years old, you know. And you know who he looked like? If you've ever watched, what is it? I don't know what they call themselves now, but if you put in The Levine Life, he looked just like Jerry from The Levine Life, but he was like about 6'1", 6'2". He was really tall. But he looked just like him, and he had that tooth that kind of lapped over the other tooth. And he was just as cute as a button. And I was like, boy, you better watch out what you say there to me. I'm somebody's mother. I'm somebody's grandmother. And he knew it because he said, mother, he said, grandma, mother. And then he said, I know you know your way around in the kitchen. Hold on. Yes, ma'am. That was absolutely a well-placed comment. And then one time, this is the last story. One time, this guy was riding past my house. I was outside watering and taking care of my lawn and stuff. And I had on some jeans and I had on a top. You know, I had a T-shirt wrapped around my hair to keep all the bugs and grass from getting in my hair. And this guy rides past my house and he said, hey, Miss Parker. And I was like, you better not finish that sentence. You better not finish that sentence. I didn't say that. I didn't say you better not finish that sentence, but I looked at him and I was like, you better not finish that sentence. Okay. And so he came back. He went up the street and then he turned around. I'm like, okay, you already said hi. Why are you turning around? Okay. So he turned around, he pulled up and he had like this race car and it was all loud and everything, and he's running his mouth talking and saying something and grinning at me, and I'm like, I can't even hear nothing you're saying. I know you can't hear yourself. I can't hear nothing that you're saying. Not that I was trying to give him any rhythm, okay? Not that I was trying to, you know, talk to him like that. You know, say hi, pay the compliment, and go on about your business. But yeah. 60! Can you believe it? In the morning, I can believe it. In the morning when I get up, I can believe it, you know. But after I done pulled myself together, fixed my hair, and, you know, put some clothes on, you know, I'm feeling a little frisky, you know. Anyway, hello, who is that? What does that say? I came, I saw, I comment. Okay, I came, I saw, I comment. Okay. How are you? I hope you are well. So anyway, yeah, that's just a couple of stories, you know, but it's nice when an old lady can get a compliment. You know, I'm not fishing for any compliments, but I still get them. But I just thought that was so funny and so cute. So, but anyway, again, like I said, go to your doctor if you're making any plans to make changes for the better. get your lab work done and go from there. Do your own research. Everybody has to do their own work. I'm going to put that on a t-shirt. Everybody has to do their own work. And I don't know the little boy that said it, but it was this little boy, he was doing yoga in his dad's yoga class. And he said, everybody has to do their own work. And he was so cute when he said it. So I'm going to put that on a t-shirt. Anyway. Keto works. There are side effects. And running to the bathroom to urinate frequently is one of them. And the reason why I bring that up is because if you're urinating like that, you're losing not only water, but you're losing electrolytes. Electrolytes are what help the impulses that keep our central nervous system functioning. In other words, those electrolytes, those electrolytes keep your heart beating. Those electrolytes keep your lungs breathing while you're asleep. Those electrolytes keep you breathing so that you don't have to think about breathing. You just do it, And when those electrolytes get out of line, get out of sync, fall too low, you could find yourself in some serious life-threatening conditions. So that's one dangerous part about it. And let me tell you why I believe I was feeling as bad as I was because I've been taking a diuretic since my first child was born. And I should not have been left on that diuretic like that. I thought I needed it for the rest of my life, and I didn't. That's another video as to what happened and, why I should have been taken off. That's another video. But here's the thing. I was still taking a diuretic while I was on keto. The diuretic I was taking was called, the brand name is called Diazide. The generic name is called Triamterene, HCTZ 37.25 milligrams or micrograms, something like that. And I was still taking the fluid pill while I was on keto, but I wasn't expecting I didn't know I was going to be dumping all of this fluid. I didn't know I was going to be running to the bathroom every 30 minutes. Meanwhile, I'm still taking this fluid pill every day, okay? And I should not have been taking that fluid pill every day while on keto. And so when I talked to my doctor after I got my lab results back and I started telling her, okay, this is what's going on. This is what I've been going through. She was like, well, first of all, you can't be on keto and be on a diuretic too. She says you got to do one or the other. I said, I'd rather be on keto. I don't want to take the diuretic anymore. She said, well, that's fine. She said, you can get off the diuretic. She said, with the amount of fluid you say you're dumping every 30 minutes, you have no business being on a diuretic. It's going to be bad. Okay. So I immediately got off the diuretic because keto was doing what my kidneys should have been able to do but couldn't do because I had so much stored in my glycogen stores. I had so much sugar stored in my glycogen stores. So once you get rid of the sugar, the cells start to loosen up and start to release all of this. So you're peeing and you're releasing water, you're releasing, everybody says toxin, 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 toxin. A toxin is something that's poisonous that does not belong in the body. That's what a toxin is, okay? But being on keto caused me to release all this fluid, all these toxins, but most importantly, it had me releasing my electrolytes. And that's why I felt, and that's why I believe people feel as bad as they do sometimes, and they call it the keto flu, because they're releasing so many electrolytes all night, all day. It's bothersome, it's troublesome. You have to plan, for me, I have to plan, because if I know I'm going to be running to the bathroom like that, I got to make sure I go to a store where I feel comfortable using their bathroom, because I won't go in just anybody's bathroom. Even though I'm standing or squatting, I won't go in just anybody's bathroom. You got to have a clean bathroom. It's got to be neat. Toilet paper, paper towels. I don't want to use your hand dryers. I don't want to use your automatic water. When you put your hand under the faucet and the water, I don't want to use that. I don't want to use the hand dryers because there's airborne pathogens flowing through those dryers right onto your hands. No, I want a paper towel, and I want to be able to turn the faucet on with my elbow and turn it off. Okay. So I have to plan my trips out, or I used to have to plan my trips out. Where am I going to go shopping? Which bathroom can I use in this particular area? You know, it was just, it was a lot. It was a lot. It was a lot. And this went on for months. I mean, 5, 6, 7 months, you know. Sometimes having a few near misses, not getting all the way into the bathroom, you know. But yeah, those are the two big side effects. I stink if I don't stay on top of it. The amount of urine that you put out every 30 minutes or so. The loss of electrolytes, which can be that. And you know what? When a lot of people pass away from the flu, it's because they passed away because they were deficient on electrolytes. I almost said because they were dehydrated. But some people, you cannot explain to them what dehydration really is. And dehydration means your electrolytes are low. And people say, but I've been drinking water. Why are my electrolytes low? Because you've been drinking water. Water has no electrolytes unless you buy a water that contains electrolytes, okay? And people will say, but I've been drinking water. I've been drinking lots of water. But they said I'm dehydrated because your electrolytes are low. Water will quench your thirst. But if there's no electrolytes in that water, you're going to be dehydrated. And then you have people telling you to push all this water, drink all this water, drink half of your body weight in water. Well, there's really no reason or cause to do that, especially if somebody's overweight, if somebody has kidney issues and their kidneys don't function properly and they can't put out the same amount of water that they put in. You know, that's a dangerous mix for some people. You know, I've heard many doctors say, drink if you're thirsty. Don't force or push water. Don't do this thing where you're drinking copious amounts of water. You will cause yourself a problem. There's something called hyponatremia. It's either hyponatremia or hypernatremia. When you drink too much water and you essentially drown and die. Okay? That's dangerous. And you can do that pushing water. Hyponatremia. It's either hypo or hypernatremia. It's dangerous. Drink if you're thirsty. Drink when you want something to drink. Don't force water. Stop this thing with you got to have a gallon of water a day. Because when you're drinking that much water, you're also peeing a lot and forcing out your much needed electrolytes. And you can't just replace electrolytes by drinking coconut water, because coconut water has mostly sodium. You know, your sports drinks have mostly sodium and sugar, mostly sugar. And sugar will block up the water that you need to release. Now, I guess they do that because they want you to hold on to some of the fluid and your electrolytes. But that sugar, especially some of the sugars, the artificial sugars, aren't good for us. Sugar, period, isn't good for us. There's documentaries, books about the harm and the dangers of table sugar. And a lot of these artificial sugars. There's a lot of dangers behind them. You know, so drink when you're thirsty when it comes to the water. Don't force, don't push. Stop with the half your body weight thing, because some people don't have the capacity with their kidneys to put out what they put in. And then they're carrying around all this excess water. And then when they go for dialysis, they have to take off more water. And in turn, taking off more water takes off more of their electrolytes. You know, they determine how much water they have to take off every time you go to dialysis. And I hear they take off sometimes a little more than what they should. Hold on. Oh, I thought there was another comment. Okay, so I thought I saw another comment. Wait a minute. Oh, wait, 60. Why didn't that come up on my phone over here? Okay, that comment isn't on, I don't know if y'all can see, but that comment isn't on this phone. The last comment was the pink one, not Miss Stop, Drop, and Roll On. Okay, so let me come here and read it. 60 is the new 60. We aren't dead, and we aren't to let go of our fearful. I know that's right. We are not to let go of our fearful and wonderful madness the Father gave us. There is a balance to it all. High five. I know that's right. So anyway, oh, I was talking about the water. Yeah, so drink if you're thirsty. Don't push, don't force. If it don't fit, don't force it. Just relax and let it go. Okay? Okay. So anyway, the loss of electrolytes, urination that is bothersome because you will be up all night, every 30 to 45 minutes. And it's tiresome. And I stink sometimes, and I gotta take care of it real quick. I want to tell y'all something. Now that I have started eating meat again, my temperature was 98.6 2 weeks ago. Yes, it was. Yes, it was. When I was vegan, my temperature was like 97.1, 97.4, never any higher than 97.4. I was always low on my temperature. But keto does work. And some of the negatives are the keto flu. I think for me, a negative would be eating all the pork and all the fat that they talk about eating. It has to make sense for me. And for me to eat all that fat and pork that they were talking about, first of all, I don't do pork. And eating all that fat didn't make sense to me, but I did it. But when I did it, I've already said this, when I did it, I felt the worst, but I lost the most when I ate more fat. And the type of fat that I was eating was ghee. And I don't even buy ghee anymore. Because my doctor told me to get off the keto for a while when she saw, how low my electrolytes were, and she found out that I was on keto and that I was losing all this fluid and all these electrolytes and that I was on a diuretic at the same time. So she told me to lay off, and that was back in July. So I haven't done keto since July, giving it a break. Will I get back on keto? I don't know. Right now, 196, 197. That's what I was 2 days ago. Will I get back on keto? I don't know. I want to be down to 180. And that's not that far, and it wouldn't take me that long. I might. I don't know. Like I said, keto was painful for me. I did have muscle pain because I think they said at certain times, if you don't have enough fat, like the ghee and the medium chain triglyceride, this MCT oil, that keto will attack and start to burn muscle. So I don't know if that's what I was feeling, or I don't know if that's what it was or not. But in any event, I'm thinking about it. I don't know if I'm going to go back to it, but I might, because I said I wasn't going to do any more diets. But I would like to get down to 180, which isn't that far away from 195. So I'll see. I want to wait until it gets a little warmer. I don't do well in cold weather. So for me to be in the cold weather and be having what they call the keto flu is going to make me very uncomfortable. So I'd rather wait until it starts to warm up to do keto again. So we'll see. But right now I am not doing keto. And I do have to say, keto, it was very hard for me to get off the sugar. I did have some headaches. They said after the third day you stop craving sugar. I haven't stopped craving sugar yet. I just stopped eating strawberries a week ago because I found out it was the strawberries that was causing the eczema on the back of my fingers to flare. And it was like 2 days after I stopped eating the strawberries, I would start itching, like right when I start cutting the strawberries. And I knew then, if the strawberries are making you itch while you're cutting them up, you probably shouldn't be eating them. So what did I do? I put on gloves and I cut the strawberries, right? And I just kept eating them. And I was eating like a box of strawberries every day with the bananas, right? That's my dessert every day. And so I went off of the strawberry and bananas for the first day. The next day I just did bananas. And that second day, the third day I should say, I was so peaceful at the dinner table because normally after I eat the strawberries and bananas, I'm like, and this would go on for 10 minutes. Right after eating the strawberries and bananas. So I left the strawberries alone and just ate the bananas. And for that first night, it was just like, wow, I'm so peaceful just sitting here at the table. I haven't started itching. I'm not scratching. I couldn't believe it. It was like, you don't know the peace I felt because I wasn't itching at the table after eating those darn strawberries. So I haven't had strawberries for about a week now, and I have not itched at all. So I left the strawberries alone. I left the strawberries alone. I really wanted to take those strawberries back that I put down the garbage disposal, but they said that that was the only brand that they carry right now. I think they just didn't want to give me my money back. But I really wanted my money back so I could, go get some other strawberries. But it's all fine and well. I didn't need the strawberries anyway. But I thought they were just being mean and just didn't want to give me my money back. But anyway, I threw them away. And I'm drinking because I'm talking. And when I talk, my mouth gets dry. So, so the dehydration, the urination, the odor, the keto breath, whether it's the fruity breath or the bad breath, those are some of the side effects that I experienced. I never had the fruity breath, but when I'd wake up in the morning, I'd be like, tastes very good, you know? It was bad. But it works. It really does work. But as I said, my sugar craving never left, and thank goodness I was able to find the banana sugar and pecan recipe and I've been eating that every day since June, maybe even May. I've been eating strawberry, banana, and pecans. I take the pecans and crush them up with some raisins sometimes, and I would only put like maybe 5 or 6 raisins in with the pecans. I'd use a whole cup of pecans and crush them up in the food processor, make a crust, and then I would reduce the strawberries and bananas with vanilla, raspberry, lemon, vanilla, banana, raspberry, and lemon extract, and a little butter and a little avocado oil. Reduce it down to like a pudding, and make sure all the juice is cooked out of it, and then put it in on top of the bananas and put it in on top of the pecans. And this is what I eat every day. Every day. I got some in the refrigerator right now, left over. But I make sure I only eat it once a day. Because if I eat it twice a day, then my insulin spikes a lot higher the second time, and I don't feel so good when that happens. So I only eat it once because I don't want that many spikes during the course of a 24-hour period. So I only eat it once. Oh, here's the other side effect that I just recently found out about. But I've been talking about it a lot, and that is my inability to process sugar. And I've been looking and looking and looking and looking and looking and looking, and finally I found it. And the issue that I have right now is called glucose intolerance. Which when I look at the abstract on glucose, well, I looked at one abstract. I looked at 2 abstracts about glucose intolerance. Both of them seem to indicate diabetes. but I'm not diabetic. My fasting glucose is 92, or the last time I had it done, my fasting glucose was 92. And my A1C is 5.6, which is normal. I started at 5.9. 5.9. My highest glucose was 120, fasting. Okay? So since I've cut out the sugar and the high carbs, my A1C has come down from 5.9 to 5.6. I was pre-diabetic at 5.9, and I'm no longer pre-diabetic. I'm normal. And my glucose fasting is 92. However, if I attempt to eat or drink anything with sugar, I wouldn't even touch anything with high fructose corn syrup. But I'm talking about, I got really sick. My daughter had a piece of chocolate cake on my birthday that they sent up to my room. The cake was about that big, and it had ice cream and raspberries and blueberries, right? And so I knew I couldn't eat the cake, but the cake looked so good. And I took the fork and I took a piece that was like that big, put it in my mouth, and spit it out. Then I took the blackberries, which was about 7, and the ice cream was melting. And I took the blackberries and just dipped it into the ice cream and then wiped off what was dripping and ate all 7 of the blackberries. The next day, I was so sick. I was so sick. I felt so bad. And I had this pain on the right side of my back, right here in my shoulder. And I didn't know if it was gas, because sometimes I get gas in between my shoulder blades sometimes, or on my shoulder blade. I didn't know what it was, but I was just feeling really bad just from that little teeny piece of cake and the 7 blackberries I ate. And I ate about 7 blueberries, and I ate 5 of the raspberries. Right? And all of those fruits that I ate are fruits they say we can eat on keto, but I still got sick. And then when I start eating, if I eat something like that, then I start urinating. That's when the urine really starts to flow. If I eat something that has sugar, even just to put it in my mouth and go and then spit it out, I am so sensitive to sugar. I am completely glucose intolerant. Not even to put it on my tongue and just go and spit it out. I can't even do that, right? So I looked it up and I asked, see, sometimes we have to know the right questions to ask, because sometimes we don't know the right questions to ask. And I finally asked the question, does a ketogenic diet cause glucose intolerance? The answer is yes. So I asked myself, if I had have known that I wouldn't have been able to tolerate any kind of sugar, I'm talking about no stevia, no RX, no coconut sugar, no kind of sugar, artificial or cane sugar, high fructose corn syrup, no Karo syrup, no really sweet fruits like oranges. I can't do it. If I do, I get these, the first thing that happens is I get these real bad muscle cramps in my legs, in my thighs, in my feet. I start with the heavy urinating, running back and forth to the bathroom. And I feel bad. I feel bad for about 2 days. Until I can have a good bowel movement, I feel really, really bad. And I just drink as much water as I can to get the sugar out while I'm losing electrolytes at the same time, and then waiting on this bowel movement to happen, which usually happens before 11 a.m. And sometimes I usually have 2 bowel movements before 11 a.m. So until that happens, I suffer and I just lay in bed. I can't do anything. So that's the other thing I wanted to tell you. I've seen at least 2 abstracts on Google about the ketogenic diet causing glucose intolerance. Is that a good thing? Is it good that your body will not process sugar? You know, that one little time, hold on. Okay. Is that a good thing that your body won't process sugar? Is it good that your body won't allow you to eat sugar? I don't know if that's a good thing or not. I know how bad sugar is for us. I know that we should not be eating it. I know that sugar is taking people out of here. But is it good to be glucose intolerant? I don't know. And that's another reason why I haven't rushed to go back on to keto, because I don't know that this is a good state for me to be in. Now, on keto, I told you the things that we can't eat, but I'll tell you some of the things that I'm not supposed to eat that I still partake in. We're not supposed to do lemons. I do lemons. I'm not supposed to eat peas. I eat peas at least twice a week, and I do about maybe a half a cup of peas, if not a little more. What else? I'm not supposed to be eating ripe bananas. Green bananas are okay for French fries and potatoes, but I'm not supposed to be eating ripe bananas. I eat super, super ripe bananas. Sorry about that. So those are some of the things that I'm not supposed to eat that I do eat. Those are the things that I'm not. There's nothing else that that I didn't include. I eat bananas that are very ripe. I eat peas. I do lemons. I was doing strawberries, but I think strawberries were okay. But there are certain those are the four things that I'm not supposed to indulge in, but I do. Especially now that I'm not doing keto anymore. I might go back to it. I'm not sure. Oh, the other thing that was causing me to itch. Oh my God. And this stuff had my hands turn white. Okay. It looked like someone had freeze dried the backs of my fingers. They were just white. Okay. Coconut aminos. Had to cut it out. And you know what? I suspected for a long time that there was sugar in those coconut aminos and I wouldn't look, but I finally had to look. And as soon as I stopped eating the coconut aminos, I stopped itching then too. Okay. As soon as I stopped eating the strawberries, I stopped itching. And I was listening to another sister yesterday, and she was like, "You got to pay attention to your body. You got to listen to your body. If you don't feel well, one thing that you should do, we should all do, is consider what did we just eat? Where do we just get our food from? You know, because if you want to be healthy, there's a way to go about it. There's foods you can eat that will assist you in being healthy, making sure you're getting all your nutrients, your vitamins, your minerals. And there are other foods that will take you in the polar opposite direction. And you've got to know what they are. But we'll do that at another time. I want to stay on topic. Hold on, I'm just putting my notes down. But I'm telling you, things like extracts have really saved me, because those extracts I put on the bananas, oh my goodness, it is so, so good. I mean, now I just do the bananas, and it's a little avocado oil, some butter, vanilla, lemon, banana, and raspberry extract. It tastes so fruity. It tastes like there's sugar in it. It tastes so good, and it quells my sweet tooth every time, and I don't have a problem. And you know, I did a video the other day, and I was like, but I just wonder how many people could have been saved if they only had have known that it was what they were eating that was causing them a problem. You know what I mean? But anyway, here I was talking about exercising. That's another video. Side effects, sugar, wheat. Okay, strawberries, coconut aminos all cause my eczema to flare up. Wheat also caused a lot of mucus for me, and painful bloating. But, you know, there's a lot being said about, you know, meat and people not eating meat, but I think the real villain for a lot of us is sugar. And they have put so much sugar. I remember when I was a little girl, when we would buy cans of Sprite or bottles of Sprite, Sprite only had 90 calories. But now Sprite has 200 calories. And I watched those calories go up incrementally over the years. And I'm like, why so much sugar? You know, and if you look at the label on most of the things that you buy, there's so much sugar in everything. You know, your pasta sauce has sugar. That's why a lot of things I make myself. My pasta sauce, I haven't had, well, I did make a pizza with some cheese and some almond flour. It wasn't all that great, but, you know, and some cauliflower. But I made a pizza with that. It was pretty good. But I make my own spaghetti sauce. You know, I grind my own meats. And there's a way to go about doing this thing in an economical way and in a way that is healthy. And I want to come back and do a video about that, what foods you should avoid and what foods you should buy, okay? So here's a little list about what not to eat while on keto. And that would be sugar, any kind of sweeteners, whether it's an artificial sugar, sugar itself, whether you're doing dates or raisins or, and I found out I was eating some raisins in a salad the other day, and the raisins don't digest. They came out whole. They were fat like little grapes, but they came out whole. I was like, what is that? Because see, listen, I look, I check, I need to know size, color, odor, buoyancy, consistency. I need to know, okay, what's going on. Because when I looked and when I turned around and looked, I was like, I know that's not, now this is going to get a little, okay, but these are things we need to talk about because this is important. This is your gut health, and your intestines are your other brain, okay? So we got to talk about this brain down here, okay, and what it releases sometimes, because what you don't want to see when you look back is pus on your stools. That's run, don't walk. Run, don't walk to the doctor. And that's what I was like, that's not pus. And I looked and I was like, oh, those are the raisins I ate last night. You know, that's not a good thing if you have pus. But the raisins weren't digesting. They should not have been whole, you know. So I don't know what's happening with the raisins right now. So, but anyway, the things that you shouldn't eat on keto: sugar, sweeteners, wheat, crackers, pasta, bread, cakes, pies, cookies, cereals, sodas, caffeine, candy, popcorn, anything that says gluten-free, you should not have anything to do with that on a keto plan. What else? Fast foods, lunch meats, like hot dogs and those sliced turkey meats and, you know, ham and chicken. You shouldn't be eating that stuff, okay? On a keto diet, they want you eating the fattiest chicken. They want you to eat the chicken thigh, the chicken leg. They don't want you to do the chicken breast. That's the other thing that I do. I do chicken breasts, okay? But I use the chicken tenderloin. That's the breast under the breast. It's just a little strip about that long and about that wide. That's what I like, okay? But yes to whole ground beef. The extra veggies, I like doing combos on veggies, and I say you should cook every day yourself. If you have to, meal plan. You know, you got to be serious about it, and you can't just come falling in the house and be like, oh, I've been at work all day, I'm tired, I don't know what to fix, because then you're tempted to just run and do something fast food, and that's not going to help you. There's so much sugar, there's so much additives, there's so much preservative in those fast food and boxed foods, okay? And even with some of the more natural foods, like the strawberries, we don't know what's going on with that. I don't know why those strawberries lasted for 20 days in the refrigerator. They were still firm. They should have not been that firm. They should have been soft and mushy and molded and white. And they were they looked like they'd just been picked off the vine. 20 days later. I don't know what they did to those strawberries, but I wasn't going to eat them. You got to get your sleep. You have to get your sleep, because when you don't get enough sleep, you will build up cortisol. And cortisol, when your body is stressed, and of course your body is stressed when you're not getting enough sleep, this cortisol will cause belly fat and cause you not to lose weight. It will have you hold on to the weight. So you got to be careful with that and make sure that you're getting at least 8 to 10 hours of sleep. Okay? And listen, I'm like the little doll baby. You know, when you lay the doll baby down and her eyes closed, that's me. Except if you sit me down, and if I sit 15 minutes too long, I will fall asleep just like this here. The drop of a hat, I'm out. I am out. Okay? My children used to sleepwalk, and I thought maybe some of it had walked. Well, my two younger boys used to sleepwalk. And I used to think to myself, I don't know why they do that. I don't know. And it's not like what you see on television where people have got their eyes closed and their hands are out like this. When my sons would sleepwalk, they would generally come into my room, and how I knew they were sleepwalking was because their eyes would be bloodshot red, and they'd come to my bedside and they would say something like, "The people under the hats ate the car." And I'd be like, "Oh, they did? Okay, all right, well, come on. Let's go this way." Uh-oh. Sorry about that, y'all. I'd be like, "Okay, come on, go this way." And we would walk back into the bedroom and put them back in the bed. So I don't know if I was sleepwalking this one night, but this house that we lived in at the time had 2 stairwells. There was a winding stairwell that took you down to the foyer, and then there was a stairwell that took you up and down to the kitchen, right? I never would walk down those steps. I didn't have a problem going up the winding stairwell, but I would never walk down those steps, because one time I was walking down a winding stairwell, and you know, the steps are angled at a certain way because they're winding downward, right? And one time I was coming down this winding stairwell, wasn't at the house, and I thought I had put my entire foot on the step, but what I had done was, instead of putting my foot on the step, I had just put my heel on the step. So the front of my foot went down and I just went tumbling. So I would never go up the winding stairwell from the foyer. I would never go down the steps. I didn't have a problem going up. So I would always go use the kitchen steps and go up and down the back steps, right? One night I woke up and I was standing that close to the edge of the winding stairwell going down to the foyer. And my fear was that I would fall down those steps, and, you know, there was the wooden dowels, you know, between the railing, you know, the wooden dowels I always thought I would fall and hit the dowel and break the dowel and then fall 5 or 6 feet to my demise, right? So I always had a fear about that. And I don't know if I was dreaming about that or what, but I ended up at the top of the steps of the winding stairwell down to the foyer. I was this close to the edge of the step, and I woke up and I was doing this. And I woke up and I was like, oh my God. And because I was doing that and I woke up and I saw the steps, I almost fell forward. But just thank goodness I was close enough to the rail that I caught the rail and caught myself before I fell. That I never forgot that. I never ever forgot that. But you know, getting your sleep is very important in terms of you losing weight, keeping your circadian rhythm intact, and keeping your cortisol levels low. Because as long as your cortisol levels are high, you're not going to lose the weight the way that you want to. You also have to remember that your minerals, your vitamins, all your nutrients have to be intact in order for you to lose weight. Because if you're short on vitamin D, B12, and some other nutrients, you're not going to lose weight. You're just not going to lose weight, because all these nutrients have to be in good working order, in good supply in your body, in order for you to lose weight. Okay, and this is why I say get your lab work done first, fix any shortages or any overages, okay, or any deficiencies, and then do your diet. Because then once you've got all these things in order and they're at the proper levels, you're more likely to lose the weight that you want to lose. Sabe? Sabe. Sabe. Anyway, so the things that you want to avoid are sugar, high fructose corn syrup, sweeteners, wheat, flour, bleached flour. Bleached flour, they did a study on that, and bleached flour, they say, causes diabetes. Excuse me. What else? No sodas, no juices. And, as a vegan, lots of people do a lot of juicing, juicing their oranges, their strawberries, their watermelon, and all these juices. And here's the problem, excuse me. When you're juicing your fruit, you're just getting the juice, and the juice contains a lot of sugar, okay? Glucose, fructose, contains a lot of sugar, right? The purpose of that piece of fruit having the pith, the rind, well, not the rind because most people don't eat the rind, but having the flesh, that flesh slows down the rate of which the sugar from the juice gets absorbed into the body. Okay, but when you take away the flesh and you're just drinking the juice, you're just shocking your system with a lot of sugar, spiking your insulin. That's a bad thing for your insulin to spike like that, because you have drank, you've juiced all these grapes, you've juiced all these oranges, these apples. When we drink juice, we should drink like maybe 1 to 2 ounces, and that's it. It's not meant for us to be drinking a 16-ounce cup of juice or 24 ounces of juice. You're pouring too much sugar into your system, and it's getting into your system too quickly because the flesh has been removed. The flesh is there to help. The flesh is there to help slow down the rate of which the juice is being, and the sugar, is being absorbed. So we shouldn't be juicing fruit. We just shouldn't be doing that. But someone said, oh, well, the nutrients get into your system faster, and, it makes you healthier because it takes away the fibrous part, and, but see, there we were listening to man. We were listening to some person who made up this theory. And a lot of people have gotten in trouble doing that with their health. A lot of us have gotten in trouble juicing. We don't have any business juicing. You got a juicer? Do something else with it. Do something else with it, okay? But we should not be drinking juice that way. No, ma'am. No ham, no burger, no chicken, no pork. We're not supposed to be juicing. So, what else? No caffeine, no bread, no pasta, no crackers, no potatoes, no rice, no products that say gluten-free, okay? Make everything that you can yourself. If you can make it, okay? Down to your own mayonnaise, down to your own ground beef. Make it yourself. Go to Sevis's. Go on down to Sevis and get you one of them food processors, baby, okay? They about $12, $15, maybe $20. It's not that expensive. Go on get you one down at the CBS. Go on, bless yourself. That's what you need to do with that, okay? Okay. And, of course, I needed some replacements, okay? Because I'm no longer doing potatoes and rice. That just meant for me, I got to eat some extra vegetables. So, for instance, I love Brussels sprouts. I will eat Brussels sprouts every night, and I know how to cook them to perfection, honey, because you got to have a little burn on them, a little crisp on them, and then the inside got to be kind of creamy, and yeah. So I will do Brussels sprouts, string beans, and I will mix collard greens and kale together. So there's 4 different vegetables I have in one sitting. Collard greens, kale, mixed together with green tomato and onion, and I'll make my Brussels sprouts and what was the other thing I said? And string beans, okay? I like to make ginger and garlic beans, really good, okay? So I have to do replacements for the other things that I'm not eating, and I'm fine. I'm fine. So I'm not doing keto really, but yeah, I am doing keto because I'm not eating all of the things they say you're not supposed to eat, with the exception of the peas, the lemons, the bananas. I am eating those things. I'm not doing the extra fat, which would be ghee. I'm not doing that, okay? Let's see. It is difficult to get off of sugar. It's very difficult to get off of sugar. You're not going to feel well. They say you stop craving sugar after a certain point. I still crave sugar. And thank Yahweh, I got bananas. Because that's it for me. I don't mind eating bananas every day. And I know I need to cut back, but I will eat anywhere between today was the most I ate. I'll eat anywhere between three. I prepared 5 bananas today. I think I ate about 4 of the 5 bananas that I prepared. And I know that's probably too much, but I'm thinking about how I used to make those smoothies at the beginning of being vegan, but I didn't make a whole lot of smoothies. I would make a few smoothie bowls, but that wasn't really my thing. Every now and then I would make one. But anyway, I'm just glad that I figured out that vegan life was destroying my health. That was what it did for me. That was my experience. And that is the truth. Okay? Because you know what drives me crazy? I can't stand it when I hear somebody say, and that's my truth. No, I don't want your truth. I want the truth. Because, people will make up things and say, well, this is the way it happened. This was my truth. This is my truth. No, I don't want your truth. Don't tell me my truth. I want the truth. Tell the truth now. Tell the truth. Tell the truth and shame who? Okay. Anyway, I'm just glad I got off the vegan diet because it was destroying my health. I did not, like I said, what I believe when people make these dietary changes, they're doing it because they've been through something. They're doing it because they want to improve their lifestyle and their health, as well as increase their longevity. I believe people go to these diets, whether it be vegan or keto or with whatever, they go to these diets looking to feel better, looking to look better, looking to be healthier. I believe that people go to these diets with the best of intentions. Okay? And just like I heard someone say the other day, I'm not coming here to bash anybody and what they eat and how they eat. And I pray I never did that when I was vegan. But I know when I was vegan, you could sit next to me and eat your steak and I'd be like, you want some A1? They got A1 sauce in there if you want some. Go eat your food. Go and eat your food, okay? Enjoy it. I'm not going to mess you up while you eating your food and say nothing. That's not me. But I know that there are people who will do that. And I've heard people say things like, keep eating that meat and you're going to die from cancer. I've heard it. I've seen it. Right here on social media. If you don't stop eating that meat, you're going to die from cancer. I've heard people say that. And that is wrong. Flat out wrong. Eat your food and let other people eat what they got to eat. Mind your business. There's a whole bunch of scripture. If Yahweh is who you believe in, if God is who you believe in, he got a whole lot of scripture for a whole lot of people that don't know how to mind their business. Whole lot of scripture on minding your business. Okay? I'm speaking about my business, what I went through while I was vegan. And it didn't go well for me. And there's plenty of other people that it didn't go well for. And that's their story. And they got to tell it in their time, in their way, at their pace. Mind your business. This is mine. And I'm sharing my business. Because I can do that. Take care, Tab. Take care. Anyway. But since I've gotten to the point where I'm eating beef. I eat beef. I eat chicken. I eat fish. I eat goat. I I thought I was going to eat lamb, but it was just, I mean, it was really gamey. It was just too gamey for me. Now I can make gyros now. I can do the lamb and the beef, you know, together. But just plain lamb, it's a little too gamey for me. So beef, lamb with the beef, chicken, fish, goat, and that's it. That's what I eat, okay? And when I eat my ground beef, I grind all of my meat all the time. I never buy ground beef because anything could have fell in there. I need to grind my own meat. Thank you very much, okay? And since I'm eating meat now and I eat dairy, my A1C has come down. My kidney function has improved. My creatinine level has come from 1.05 to 1.01. I got one more point, a half a point, and I will be normal with the kidneys, okay? That's why I had those dark circles under my eyes. I didn't know what that was from, you know? And I know there have been 2 people at least that were here in the vegan community that are no longer here that had those dark circles. And they thought that that lifestyle would help cure them of everything that ailed them. I thought the same thing. I thought that being vegan was going to cure me of everything. But the next thing I know, I'm taking 13 different vitamins just to feel 80% normal. Just 80. 13 different vitamins. That's not the way to live. I didn't go to the vegan diet to have to be on all these different supplements, trying to figure out which one to get, because you know there's more than one type of magnesium if you have to go and buy magnesium. There's more than one type of vitamin D3. You know, you've got 1,000 IUs, you've got 2,000 IUs, you've got 10,000, you've got 50,000, which you have to have a prescription for, okay? But you have all these different forms, increments in which, you know, they come in. And then they come in different chemical makeup, okay? Some vitamin D is made from safflower. Some vitamin D is made from cholecalciferol, which is lanolin. You know, there's different formulations for vitamin D, vitamin E, vitamin B12. B12, you can get cyanocobalamin or you can get methylcobalamin. Do you take 4 micrograms, which is what's required on a daily basis? Or do you take 12 micrograms or 1,000 micrograms or 2,000 micrograms? Do you take it for a week? Do you take it for a month? It's a guessing game. It's a guessing game because when you go to most of these doctors and ask them, well, doctor, you're telling me I'm B12 deficient, you know, what should I do? Oh, just go get some B12. You'll be fine. Okay, well, I went to go get the B12, and there were all these different microgram variances. 4 microgram, 12 microgram, 1,000 mic. Which one do I get? Do I get the methylcobalamin, which is a synthetic, or do I get the cyanocobalamin, which contains cyanide, which can build up in your liver and cause you problems, cause you to be poisoned and toxic? It's a guessing game. Do I take it for a week? Do I take it for a month? Do I take it for a year? Do I take it every other day? Do I take it for a month and get back off and then get back on? I'm going to tell you, if you're trying to do some type of vitamin therapy and your doctor isn't sure, because I did a video where I had talked to one of my doctors and I had the camera in my phone, in my purse, and I asked the doctor, how much of the vitamin D should I take? And he was like, well, I don't know. I was like, well, can you find out and call me back? Have your nurse call me back? Yeah, we'll call you back. No one ever called me. And I asked twice. No one ever called me. Okay? Not a soul. So, that's why a young lady that watches my channel, her name is Keto Life, she had made the statement that you cannot supplement yourself to good health. You cannot. Because oftentimes the doctors don't know what to tell you as to what you should be taking in terms of a dosage. Sometimes they don't know. At least the ones that I asked didn't know, okay? But I do believe there is a specialist for everything that ails you. Everything, everything. Whether it's your toenails, whether it's your kidneys, your liver, your brain, a neurologist for your brain, a rheumatoid. There's a specialist for everything that ails you, right? And I believe that if you have to be on some type of vitamin therapy because you've got some deficiencies, some things that need to be caught up and met, I would say, I'm no doctor, I'm not a nurse, I am in no way associated with the medical profession, okay? Other than my mother was a registered nurse who took care of premature babies at Providence Hospital, Garfield Hospital, and Washington Hospital Center. That's my affiliation. That's as far as my medical experience goes. And reading Psychology Today. But anyway, I believe that if I needed to work with someone to help me with, taking vitamins, and I needed to be on some type of vitamin therapy, I'm going to get to your comment, Miss Stop, Drop, and Roll On. I would suggest that you work with either, and this might kind of sound, but just hear me out. I would say work with an oncologist. Now, I know, nobody want to go see the oncologist until they got to go see the oncologist. But I'm just saying, they know a lot about the blood, okay? But before going to that extreme, I would say work with a hematologist. A hematologist is a doctor who specializes in the blood and the lymphatic system. Lymphatic system. A hematologist is a doctor who specializes in the lymphatic system and the blood. Now, I know some people think, there's no doctor for the lymphatic system. There is a doctor for the lymphatic system, and that doctor would be a hematologist. So if you had issues with your lymphatics or your lymph nodes, you would go and see a hematologist. And I think a hematologist would be able to help you or help me or anybody that had a problem or needed to be on some sort of vitamin therapy, because they specialize in the blood and they will, know the proper tests to administer. Because, when you go to take a vitamin D test, when you have your blood tested for vitamin D, there's more than one test that you can apply for vitamin D. There's more than one test that you can apply for iron, okay? Because not only do they check your iron, they check your iron saturation. They check your MCH, your MCHC. They check your, did I say iron saturation? Iron saturation, MCH, MCHC. Oh, your hematocrit and your hematocrit and something else. I think it's platelets, where they check to see how big your platelets are or how big your red blood vessels are. Blood vessels are, because if your blood vessels are really big, that means that there's not enough oxygen and the blood cell is really struggling to get oxygen. If your red blood cells are really big, and if they're really small, I forgot what it means. But they check all of that. Your red blood cells and how big and how small they are, MCH, MCHC, the absorption of iron or saturation of iron, and then they check the iron. And then there's a whole bunch of other stuff that they check. So, a hematologist is going to know exactly what to check if you're looking at a particular problem. Now, a regular general practitioner is only going to say, well, we'll just check your iron. But with the iron, they'll also check the MCH, MCHC, hematocrit, saturation. They'll check all of that. But there's still other things that can be checked that your regular practitioner won't know to check or won't suggest to check, but the hematologist will. So, that part. Yes, we owe it to ourselves to be vigilant. I'm here for the series, Sassy. Oh, yeah, it's going to be a series. I watch my excrement too. Yes, ma'am. Listen, okay? I don't know if any of you have had to do the stool sample. I haven't done it yet, but I know how it's done because my mama had to do it, okay? And you take toilet paper, wrap some around your hand, and you lay it in the toilet one way, and you wrap some on your hand, and then you lay it the other way, like you're making an X, right? And then you go. That toilet paper keeps the bowel, the stool, from sliding back into the bowl, and then and it doesn't get wet, and then you can take the little stick that they give you, and you take the sample, and then you put the sample on the little card, and you close it up, and you send it off in the mail, right? Well, I do that. TMI. Because I needs to know size, color, buoyancy, odor, texture. Is it loose? Is it hard? Is it rocks? Is it what? I forgot to mention this part. When this is what happened to me, okay? When I became keto, I never had a problem with having a bowel movement. Let me just say that. But when I first started eating meat again, I had some issues where like my stomach felt like it was burning, and I wouldn't have a bowel movement every day, but like maybe every other day. And I wasn't having 3 a day. I was only having like 1 a day. And I was used to having like 3, maybe 4 a day. Okay. Which was too much. But let me tell you about keto. When you get on keto, and if you put that tissue in the toilet, just like you're taking a sample, like they tell you to do on the package, you're going to turn around. Or at least I did. And I'm like, that's not going to flush. No. I don't feel comfortable calling the plumber, but that's not good. I mean, I mean, and when I went in the bathroom. Okay. Clean up time to go. It wasn't no I didn't have to squat on the toilet seat. I didn't have to, start Lamaze breathing or anything like that. I didn't have to ask for a tank of oxygen. I didn't have to go lay down on my side after I got done, because I done been through that where my stool was so hard to get out that by the time I got it out, I had to go lay down, and I had to go lay down on my side. I couldn't lay on my back, I had to go lay on my side with a pillow between my knees. That's how bad it was. But when you get on keto, you will have these you will have these absolutely glorious, pain-free, effortless bowel movements. And you'll be like, I didn't even feel that. And I don't know what it is about keto, because with losing all that water, and they say you got to have water, or drink all this water to keep it so that you don't get constipated. Well, with all the water that I lost, and then those like that there, okay? I'm looking. You need to look. You need to know. If your stools are dark and black and tarry, that's a signal to run and not walk to the doctor. These are conversations we must have. These are things you must know. This is your health. This is your health. And as I said, we know about the disparities between people who are marginalized and those that aren't. You know, I don't want to go to the doctor and ask a question and then have the doctor tell me I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? You spent how many years in school? You spent how much time as an intern? I ask you a question about my health and you say to me, I don't know. You look, the least you could do is get the Googling and acting like you do know something. What do you mean you don't? I'm like, I'm hearing this too frequently. What is this? I don't know. Okay. So this is why I take responsibility over my health, my well-being, because it's like some people are not looking out for me. So anyway, I wanted to go over this right here. See all of this? And on the back side too? These are all the side effects and symptoms that I had while I was vegan, but that's another video. So we will set this aside for another time. But I think that's what I want you all to know in a nutshell about keto and how it's going for me, how it went for me. Will I do it again? Maybe. I think, like I said, as it gets warm, I might do it again. It was painful. It was uncomfortable. I felt sick a lot of times. And my son even said to me, is it worth you feeling sick just to lose weight? I said, no. Mm-mm. And then the more I watched Dr. Berg, and I noticed, you know, he has these agents that will assist you with the products that they sell. I'm like, why do I need, see, this is the other thing, you know, why do I now need supplements to be on this diet? Because it's depleting me of something. And that's why my doctor says she doesn't like a lot of these diets because they're so restrictive that people end up deficient and depleted of important nutritional factors. And that's the truth. That is the truth. Wait, I think there was another comment. Hold on. Did I miss something? Oh, wait, I don't know why it's not showing up on this phone. Okay, wait. Sassy, thank you. Just with that video made me know I am not special. Made me know I am not special. You are special. My juicer is lonely. I'm glad your juicer is lonely. My dehydrator is abandoned. Okay. My spiralizer is scarred. I'm glad. All of these things aren't needed. I just cook. Look, just warmed up dinner. No drinks unless we think plain H2O. That'll work. Okay, hubby's telling me dinner's ready, so I gotta go soon. You know what? I was just talking to somebody about that this morning, about I just cook. You know, I don't measure anything. I don't have anything to eat that I need to measure. I don't need to measure any flour, which isn't good for us. I don't need to measure any sugar, which is no good for us. I don't need to measure any fruit juices, nothing. I just cook. I had that very thought just this morning. I just cook. I don't have to measure anything. You know what? I don't even have a measuring cup right now. I think it broke. We put it in the freezer with something in it and it just shattered. Wait, hold on. I just cook and I move around. I don't have my glasses. And I'm done in 2023 with telling my friends about basic stuff. Eat decent, move the body, and drink water. Right. Okay, we should all know that. Pierre went to the doctor the other day, and we had this about the directive to take vitamin D. This about the directive to take the vitamin D. Said nothing about IU, nothing about K2, etc. Exactly. They don't. What am I supposed to do? You just telling me to get some vitamin D and what? High hematocrit hemoglobin. Yeah. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. Yeah. You know, oftentimes they don't give us any direction. They just go get it. Which one? How long? A month? 2 months? A year? Every other day? Every other week? What? And the directions on the bottle just say take with or without food. And that's it. Before meals, with meals, without, after. What? You know? That supplementing game can be detrimental and dangerous, you know? If you don't know what you're supposed to be taking it and how to take it, it could be very dangerous. So, I don't know. I think, like I said, if I were to work with someone, I would work with a blood doctor, and that would be the hematologist. Because they're supposed to know the blood. They're supposed to know two things, the blood and the lymphatic system. That's what they're supposed to know. So I would think they would be the appropriate person to get help, because then they're going to work with you with your levels, and they're going to know exactly what to test. Because like I said, there's more than one vitamin D test. There's more than one B12 test. There's more than one iron test. You know, they don't just test one thing. They test a bunch of things across the board if they're being efficient. Okay? So anyway, that's all I have to say for now. My husband is telling me that dinner is ready. This is going to be a series. I still want to come back because, like I said, I did do the video where I talked about, you know, my plant-based experience, my vegan experience, whatever you want to call it. But the video was 3 hours long, and I talked about a whole lot of other stuff before I actually got to the point. But I think I gave you a lot of information in this video, and I might have gotten off a topic here and there, but it's still all tied in together as being about health, getting healthy, staying healthy, continuing to move. I still dance, I still walk. I get in my 2 miles every morning. I don't miss a day. If I miss a day, it's because I'm not feeling well. And I might miss 1 day out of 3 months. You know, out of 3 months, I might miss 1 day. That's it. I get in my 2 miles every day, right in my kitchen. Okay, walking around. That's it. And I was at 2.8 miles per hour. I now walk at 5 miles per hour. I be kicking the dirt up in the kitchen. Okay, so you know, just keep moving, because we have so many things. Can't say nothing, no, you know. We have environmental factors, I'll put it that way, that are weighing against us too. You know, people having all kinds of crazy other symptoms, but, you know, right? So that's why I tell people I need you to be responsible over your health, and especially over the health of your children. Don't let your kids eat in those school cafeterias. Please, please, please. Send them their lunch. Cook dinner, okay? Buy thermoses and put their food in a thermos so that they can have a hot meal that you all cooked the night before. Let them be involved in preparing lunch boxes and helping in the kitchen to make meals and things like that. Stop with the fast. There's nothing at the fast food good for us to eat. Nothing, not a thing, nothing. Not even every once in a while. Know your food, learn what's in it, learn how it's going to affect you. Think about how you feel. If you feel bad one day, think about what it was you ate. and think, do I always feel bad after I eat this one thing? So anyway, that's all I have to say for now. Thank you so much for stopping in. I appreciate those of you that stopped in for the live, and I also appreciate those that will come back and watch the replay. I hope this will inspire you to be diligent over your own health, okay? You've got to do your own work. And when I say you've got to do your own work, you have got to be responsible and not just be sitting around waiting for somebody to hand you a quick fix. Here, do this, and you'll be 100%. You'll be everything you want to be. Here, just do this. Just take what I'm telling you. Listen to what I'm saying. No. You fact check. If someone tells you something, you fact check and make sure that they told you the right thing. Because there's a lot of people, out here playing doctors. A lot of people out here that want to give help and advice, and no. So anyway, again, I thank each and every one of you that tuned in for the live. If you came in for the replay, I'm grateful that you stopped by. Thank you to those that have been here on this channel for a while, and thank you to anybody else that's new here. I do appreciate your time, your attention, and more importantly, I will appreciate your time and attention to your own health and well-being. I am Everything Fresh and Sassy. I got this video done, but I got so many to do. I said I was going to do a part 2 to the assignment, and I might do that before I go downstairs. I don't know if dinner is ready yet, but my husband said he's warming it up. So I might have time to do this one video to finish up part 2 of that part 1. And then that'll have to be it for the night. I feel kind of bad because I really want to do these videos, but I just don't get the time that I would like to have to do these videos. And then I try to do them in the car, and, I got to pay attention to the road, and I'm distracted away from what I'm talking about while I'm trying to watch the road. And that's not fair to me. It's not fair to people on the road with me. It's not fair to you all that are watching. So I would rather be here at home doing those videos. But when I'm at home, if I'm not asleep, I'm busy doing something, so it's difficult. But I will do my best to make an effort to put these videos out. And I just want to say to, there's a lady here. Her name is, I'm sure she doesn't mind me sharing her channel. Her name is Love One Way, L-U-V, the number 1 and the word way, W-A-Y. Who sent me a FaceTime video? I never got one of those before. I don't do that. Anyway, someone just tried to FaceTime me on... Oh, wait. It said FaceTime video. Who was FaceTiming me? Whose number was that? I hung up so quick, I don't know who it was. It might have been my daughter. I don't know. Oh, you know what I thought that was? I thought that was a Facebook video, but it said FaceTime. Okay. I'm confused. But anyway... dang, I forgot what I was saying. Oh, Love One Way, L-U-V, the number 1 and way, all one word. She was saying yesterday, please let me know if you want any other videos, or if there's something you want me to talk about. She said, because if what I'm saying isn't being received or people aren't responding, I won't make the videos. And what I want to say to you, Love One Way, is that make your videos, girl. Not girl. Mama, mother, sister, make your videos. Make your videos, sister, because just because someone doesn't comment doesn't mean that somebody isn't benefiting. Because some people watch YouTube and they don't have an account. And if they don't have an account, they can't comment. But they may have benefited from what you said, and it might save someone and their health and their well-being. So just go ahead and do it anyway. Just go ahead and do it anyway, because if, 10 people watch this video, I have an audience of 34, and that's just where I am, because I don't advertise my channel. I don't tell you to like, comment, or subscribe. I don't tell you to share my channel. I'm not looking to grow this channel that way. I just want to be right where I am, and I guess you could say I'm a little shell-shocked, because I've seen a lot of people grow, and those people have fallen, and they have fallen very hard, because you know there's like a covenant that has to be signed when you come to notoriety and fame and fortune. There's a price tag, and it's very big and it's very heavy, and I want nothing to do with that price tag. Just keep me right where I am. My 34 people, my 34 folks, if you see something that you like on my channel, don't share the video, make your own video, and you share your video but not mine, because like I said, I'm not trying to have people like, comment, subscribe, or share, and I'm not trying to have, 10 million subscribers. That's not my lane. That's not my life. That's not my desire. That's not where I want to be. So anyway, like I said, I am everything fresh and sassy. Thank you so much for stopping by. Miss Stop, Drop, and Roll On. I'm looking for you in the daytime with a flashlight, sister. Y'all take care. Sawubona Mgani.